Listen, guys, I appreciate all the support. Thank you for continuing to lock in with me on the channel. The channel is growing. A lot of new subscribers. We've been having great conversation in the comments. Please, if you like the content that you're seeing, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on. The content is consistently flowing, and be on the lookout because we will be giving away tickets to the NC State game this weekend. Great seats, section 119, row 10, seats 16 through 18. Man, I went myself. It was a great view of the game, and our goal is to pack the rock
by any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parts, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you.
Welcome back to the Games Get Played Network. I'm your host, Wise, and I'm back. We're here to discuss the Miami versus Syracuse recap. Ah, man. I will say this, man. I was at the game this Saturday. I'm not really sure what it felt like, for everybody watching it on TV. I will say that the environment at the game was great once things got going, man. Shout out to the Canes for getting that victory, 38-10 over Syracuse. We all know that Syracuse last year spoiled Miami's CFP chances when they beat us. They spoiled the ACC championship game, all of that good stuff, man. So, got to win this year. Like I told y'all from before, they was ass. All right. And that's just what it is. They weren't good. Miami came out extremely slow and extremely flat. Some of the kids to me look like they didn't even want to be out there for real. And we'll get to that in a second. But, I just really thought that the energy was flat, man. The energy was real flat. And Syracuse came out all hyped up. But I mean, garbage is going to do what garbage does. All right. Them guys not good. Even if they had their main quarterback that they wanted from it, them guys just not good. It's not a good football team. Fran Brown, he do a lot of stuff for the camera. He on the sideline slamming stuff down. He want to fake like he got an issue with Mario. Like at the end of the day, bro, them antics don't work. And just overall, man, he says certain things, he moves in a certain way, but it's goofy. It's real goofy. And at the end of the game, when Mario shook his hand and stared in his eyes, you could see it. That guy's talk. He's all talk. I'm not sure why any key recruit would want to go play for Fran Brown at Syracuse unless you just from upstate. And if you from upstate, they don't produce, high-end football players like that upstate, in high volumes anyway. So I'm glad we got the game out the way. Before I get into the stats and stuff, a couple of little key things. Keontae Scott, I personally didn't see him return in the second half. I don't know if you guys noticed, but as soon as they came out from halftime, they drove downfield immediately. And the whole time, I was looking for Keontae. Didn't see him. Twan sent me a video of him pacing like back and forth on the sideline and stuff. I didn't see him re-enter. I could have missed it, but I don't think he came back in the game. And then the other thing that I guess keep an eye on is on that last pass that they threw to Malachi. Um, he didn't go back in the game either. I don't even know at that point, like, why do that? We were up, 38-3? I'm not really sure why you trying to force it out there. Joshua Moore straight up misses his block. He doesn't do his assignment. Mally gets hit. I see him get up and he's like touching or messing with his thigh. He was grimacing some, but at that point, I do think they was just all right, time to shut it down, at least for him. It was great seeing a lot of the young guys get in at the end of the game. Even at the beginning of the game, man, seeing Upshaw make a play like that, I honestly thought it was Malachi. I couldn't tell because where our seats are, it's like between the 35 and the 45-yard line. So I thought it was Mally when he caught it. And it's crazy because when I realized he wasn't about to score, I was like, damn, they ran Mally down like that. And then it was like, oh, it was Upshaw. And I was like, okay. I was like, because I thought if Mally, had that he would slide. But, I thought that was great to see Upshaw get involved, man. Joshua Moore played way more snaps. Obviously, JoJo was out there playing. He caught his first one. And then obviously he had the drop and just some other little stuff. We'll get into that later, man. I think, the kid needs to continue to play. It's clear to me why he wasn't playing. You hear the coaches talk about players flashing in practice. And, sometimes we think it's just coach speak. But from what we've seen from JoJo since he's been starting or featured, or however you want to put it, he starts out SMU hot, right? He's on fire. And then he drops the ball, turns into an interception. They get 7. Really don't do much after that, right? He come out like you see the inconsistencies is all I'm saying. You see it. You see the touchdown. You see the sideline catch. You see this other grab, and you like, yeah. And then you see him cause the interception. You see some miscommunication stuff. The Syracuse game, the interception that Beck threw that they called back for the defensive holding, like one of the first things I seen online is like, damn, JoJo, like at least fight for the ball, bro. Like you just go and let him get it. So it's different little stuff, man. And while we on the topic of that, I did see like early in the game, we sent him deep and he was open. We sent JoJo on a deep shot. He was open. Beck didn't see him. I don't remember if it was pressure on the play or Beck just didn't see him. And from that point on, I could tell that he was frustrated. Like you could visibly see that he got open on a deep shot. Beck didn't throw him the ball, and there was frustration. And, I don't even think it's anything, intentional, right? It's not like, oh man, but that's just what I saw. I saw the frustration, and then from there, things just he never really got back in the groove of what was going on for real, in my opinion. So I think it's just a player being young, man. And to be totally honest, was having a conversation on a call earlier, and Twarren brought up something that was real important, man. He was like, bro, which he had been saying it, but he was basically like, JoJo is his ceiling is like Jacoby George, and not even George on his best, like on his best year. And I can see it. The similarities are there. The talent is there. There's no question about the talent. The inconsistencies and the lack of work ethic at times is questionable. They both have had the disciplinary stuff. Obviously, George almost got kicked off the team before his senior year. And they kind of swept it under the rug, but Mario publicly made a statement regarding the fact that they considered not, like they considered dismissing him. And everybody just brushed over it at the time when it happened. But similar thing. I don't think JoJo was being discussed for dismissal or anything, but they both had similar situations, with the gas and all of that. So y'all, if you know what I'm talking about. But I said all of that to say the kid just needs to focus. Right? Focus, lock in, and just continue to play through it, man. You didn't have a good game. You started out hot the other week, and to be honest, the stats say you did well overall, but you fizzled out really quickly. It's about consistency, man. It's one thing if somebody just not finding you. It's another thing if you yourself are not, locked into the game how you need to be. So, personally, I would just say that he just need to make sure, that he lock in, bro. That's it. Just lock in, and the game will come to you. Be happy for everybody. The same way Mally and all them boys was super stoked when he scored. Be happy for people, support your teammates, and it'll come. Um, as far as Carson Beck, I don't really know, what to think or say, man. I think that to me it was clear that the first half, right? The play calling was horrific. Okay, so majority of the first half, that was some of the worst play calling I have ever seen in my life. I don't know what it looked like on TV, right? Live, bruh. I can count the amount of times that I saw somebody run a route that was basically beyond the first down marker. If it was first and 10 or 10 yards or more, I can count it in the first half. I saw that happen 3 times. JoJo was streaking, Beck missed him, and 2 other times I had Mally. He was streaking. One of the times he was open, Beck didn't see him. The other time, I'm not sure if he was actually open. I think the guy was there. Other than that, bruh, our route concepts, everything was at the sticks or before. We were not running anything to even try to put pressure on a back end. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, bro, it feel like we got a true freshman at quarterback, or that's what the OC acting like. Because why are we not pressing them? Why are we not trying to go downfield on these guys? They're not good, period. Run, Pat, they're not good. So I really didn't understand that, but that was one of the worst offensively called games I've ever seen in my life. It's also strange to me that Beck, one, he does not have good footwork. It was my first time catching him in person this year. It's a lot of things that you can see in person that you can't really, I guess, clearly see on TV. And plus, the seats that we had, section 119, row 10, I had a great view, and Beck's footwork isn't good, man. One of the things that he does is he basically closes his shoulder too fast. And if you know, if you know some of the initial intricacies of playing quarterback, the way he moves, he pretty much he takes away the opportunity to throw to the other side of the field sometime just by his footwork alone. So realistically, when you in like, so if you in pre-pass, right? I can't even show y'all, but basically, if your feet are set a certain way, your back foot, right? Your back foot, your midline should turn so you can go towards whatever target you're looking for. Like you should line your midline up with your target. So if you start in the middle and your midline is in the middle, and then you need to go left, you turn the back foot, and then you need to go right. Like it has to be layered a certain way. Your feet have to move a certain way. The way Beck move his feet, if he start in the middle and he turns right, the way he does it, he automatically takes away the left. Or if he get it and he turn right immediately, he's not good at panning back over. He may turn his head, but I'm talking about the feet and how his structure is. So yeah, you can do this, but bro, if the rest of your like if if you do not set your feet the right way, the trajectory of those throws will not be on target. And that was to me why he missed obviously the little dump to I think Marty Brown that was kind of off target, but he closes parts of the field off. So on TV when we see it, we be like, "Dang, bro, that's open. Why he didn't see that?" And I'm realizing I'm like, "Oh wow, like you're really conceptually forget what's being called. Like you're really basically closing off parts of the field with how he moving." And then on top of that, he sucks at feeling pressure. Like, bro, you've been playing football since you was probably 6. You like 22, 23. And you've been playing high level college football for 6 years. You've been a starter for 3. There is absolutely no reason that you should be that bad at feeling pressure, bro. Like you don't feel that coming. Like I don't understand that. And then it be times where shout out Bari, man. He had been brought this up from before, I guess from being at some of the games, but Bari and Rod, Bari and Sinatra, but like it's times where we have it blocked. And because Beck doesn't know how to properly navigate the pocket at times, I'm assuming part of it could be nerves, but because he navigates the pocket wrong, he turns what are good blocks into pass rush because he's not moving around in there how he's supposed to. And it's weird when you see it in person because you could tell, you could see when a person isn't comfortable. And there wasn't comfort for him, right? There was no comfort for him, and that was a problem. It was a clear problem, man. So moving forward, I hope that his confidence is right because to me, that throw he made to Keelan Marion on the slant, that might have been Beck's best throw of the season, bro. He was able to identify the blitz that was coming. We picked it up perfectly. Um, I believe that may have been Loud that was in the game at running back that picked up the safety blitz from this side, and then they blitzed the safety from that side. So the O line did their job. They made a wall, and then I believe that was Markel that fanned out and got the other safety blitz. And Beck steps up and he rips it. He put it right there in the window, bro. Little window. And that was the first time I saw all day where he made a throw. He wasn't late. It was perfect. He hits Marion in stride. We walk in. That wasn't a long throw. It was a slant. We don't even do enough slant calls. Twan was like, why we don't call? Like, they called the slant at the perfect time. He threw a rocket. We caught it. We walked in. There was nobody there. That was an amazing. Then I'm not saying it's because he's been struggling, but when you see it, like we saw Cam Ward do stuff like that all the time last year where the timing is just impeccable. When you see it, you know it's there. And me seeing that, I'm like, it's clear. He pretty much half a second late. or maybe 2 beats late on a lot of the throws, even the ones he complete. Like he'll see a guy and instead of releasing it immediately, he'll wait. Like something's off with his time, and I'll tell you that. And it's not just with one or two receivers. Overall, his time is off. But to me, that was super positive, to see him rifle that ball in there like that. And, it felt good. It felt good seeing it. I felt great for the kid. Keelan Marion obviously got that touchdown and everything. And it's good, man. I think that's something that is going, make a lot of sense for Beck um down the road for sure. I definitely think it's gonna make a lot of sense for him, man. Um, that was good. That was definitely good for him. And, I thought it was key. It was clear that we was trying to get Malachi involved, I believe, on that first drive after halftime. I don't remember where we gave him the ball like 3 times. The play on a direct snap, man, I don't know who it was because I haven't watched it back. But I really wish it was one person that didn't make their block, and the guy like he hit Mally low and basically tripped him up. Because if he doesn't trip him up, the guy that Mally is about to meet, he's about to run by him or make a move, and he scores a touchdown. So that would have been a big run. But I do like the play call to put him there, direct snap it to him. Obviously, he's used to handling the ball. We saw he threw the touchdown to Beck, which I thought was a great call. The throwback to Maui Noah, they got that from Alabama. And maybe not the exact play, but the idea. Dawson, I like it. I think that one, we probably could have saved a couple of those, but cool, whatever. You showed some different things: the direct snap, the pass to Beck, the pass to CC, um, the runs that were called for Pringle, I thought were some really good play calls. And we had a couple of things in the second half, like conceptually, that we were doing, and it was clear. The one thing I do want to throw out there, I think part of it is the lack of confidence in Beck, or a lack of confidence that Beck has in himself because he may be down. Part of it is Dawson with the shitty play calls. But I will say conceptually, what we can run at wide receiver drastically changes when CJ Daniels is not playing. And it's not looking good for that. I don't even know if he's going to be back before the end of the season. So that means that Joshua Moore and JoJo are really going to have to do a lot of extra learning and practicing so we can open things up a little more, because we do run conceptually different stuff when CJ is playing. We do. And JoJo has to trust himself. They have to trust JoJo, and the work has to be put in. Because without CJ out there, it does limit what we're running on the outside. And it's clear. It's super clear. Obviously, Fletcher was out. I was highly impressed with what Pringle did. Marty Brown had a solid game. I was kind of annoyed. One of the runs he had, it was going to be a clear touchdown, but he jump cut it back to the inside. Jump cut God. He always jump cutting. Sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's unnecessary. Like, I know you got to have something else in your repertoire, bro. You had a touchdown, and you jump cut it back to the inside, and it only ended up being like a 6-yard gain. You saw Pringle got in there, and when he put that foot in the ground, he hit it and go. And I know the runs was designed a little different, but clearly the vision is there, right? The vision is there, no question about that. So Marty Brown's game, run game wise, was cool. He definitely, was there on the check downs for Beck multiple times. I was, happy to see Beck taking the check downs in some of those scenarios. That one that JoJo dropped, if he caught that, he had a chance to go. When you see it, the guy that was guarding him tried to push what he did. He pushed him in his back because he was too far away to tackle him. If JoJo had caught that, he probably was gonna ride, but he obviously dropped it. You know, we saw some good stuff from the offense in the second half, I will say. Um, it was a super struggle at first. The energy was low. I was going boo Dawson, but it was gonna be pointless. Honestly, the boo should have came out for him, but the defense obviously provided a spark. Shout out Keontae Scott. I know they probably not gonna give it to him, but man, he need to have real consideration for that Thorpe. His impact on the game, how hard he plays, he makes a difference at every level, wherever you need to move him and use him. His stock is definitely way up. He's super explosive with the ball. A lot of fans don't even know, like, he's an elite level punt returner, but we're not gonna see him back there because Malachi is back there. But Keontae Scott was cribbing stuff at Auburn, and he had plenty of explosive plays in the return game for punt return. And you saw that when he got the ball in his hands. He got that ball, that boy got up out of there. He got jiggy, made a move, ran Buddy over, and slid. That's part of the playmaking ability and the explosiveness that he has. We just saw it in a little snapshot, but it's there. I mean, you can go look at his highlights, bro. He was cribbing stuff at Auburn. Like, it it was great to see him step up and make that play. We really needed it because the offense had only given us 7, and the pick 6 sparked a lot of energy, and it was great to see, man. Overall, man, I want to shout out the defense. I know last week we lost, and technically we ended up giving up 26 and all of that, but the defense, man, and Ricky Collins was 12 of 25 for 85 yards and 2 interceptions, right? My only complaint about what I saw defensively on Saturday is the amount of missed sacks. I think we ended up with 7 sacks. We did. We ended up with 7, but I counted them, and we missed tackle, not just got there, but put some type of hands on, bro. 8 other times we could have sacked him. We didn't get him. Obviously, a lot of them turned into some runs, and he converted on a third down, and then another run, and obviously the rushing yards are lower because of the sacks. But we missed 8 sacks on that guy. We got 7, but we missed 8. To give up 82 passing yards to the starter, and then the backup came in, I think, threw for 32 yards. I mean, 124 passing yards on 15 of 28. Did what we needed to do. We allowed a couple of longer runs in the run game, 22 of the 23, but overall, we held them boys to under 300 yards. Shout out Popo. He was flying around. Obviously, shout out Keontae Scott. Bain and Mezzi was making plays. Shout out Armando Blunt, man. They be putting him. I honestly don't think he should play inside because his size isn't there, but the tape says otherwise. Rather, if he's inside or outside, that guy been playing his ass off. He's been big for us. Justin Scott had his best game of the season. It was great to see him out there making plays and really getting in the mix. Who else? I think I shouted out Popo. Overall, the cornerbacks did well, but I need to take a moment for Damari Brown. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and give y'all the conversation that I had earlier with Bari and Twan and them, but Damari Brown is elite. This is my first time seeing him this year in person. All of the blubber is gone. If you want a first round draft pick, a top 15 player at cornerback, that is what it's supposed to look like. His physique is exactly what it should look like now. He is healthy. Not only is he healthy, he is elite. You can't see it on TV. When I tell you that man Damari had motherfucking clamps every time. Even the ones that you can't see on TV that they not throwing, that shit was clamped. And I tweeted about like Damari don't be in the frame so much when the plays start that it's almost like he's not playing. And bro, that boy's elite, man. He's elite. And I hope he stay healthy and keep balling out. But he's elite. And I hope, everything falls in place and he realizes that going into next season, Thorpe, whatever you want, bruh, is that is there for the taking. He's not catching interceptions because they're not catching nothing on my dog. Like when they throwing it over there, it's not being caught. He's taking people out of the play. And it makes me mad because that is a true number one cornerback. I don't even remember when the last time we had some shit that and I'm not going through the list of names, but just off the top of my head, that was legitimately okay. He shut down, put him on whoever. And that's why I don't understand why Heatherman put OJ Frederick on Chris Bell. Damari Brown is our most physical cornerback. Why didn't we put him on Chris Bell the whole game? And then when I mentioned it, Twan was like, oh, nah, he played on Chris Bell some of the game. And he was like, that's when you didn't see Chris Bell no more. But then they went back to letting OJ get, and I'm like, it makes sense. I don't know why you would do that. He cooked OJ all game. And then the one chance OJ had to make a play where, he where Miller Moss threw that ball straight to him, he didn't catch it. And I know I'm going back. I'm saying that to say whoever is the number one guy, bro, from here to infinity, Damari Brown needs to exclusively guard that guy, whoever he is. That's your number one receiver. 2, you got him every play. If 2 need a breather, okay, that's cool. O'Connor, somebody, but come on, bro. It made me, bro. It just felt great seeing it because I was like, wow. So I know nobody else probably really giving you your props and giving you your flowers, bro. But I was there live in person. Y'all know how I feel about DB play. I'd be super stoked when I see people playing at a level like that. And man, it was poetry in motion. It was beautiful watching Damari clamp everything. There was nothing that was open that they wanted to have on that man's side. So I just wanted to take some time to shout him out because, man, that reminds me of PS2 when he was at Bama, right? And you'll never get that kind of recognition because you're probably not playing certain guys and they don't use him how he should. But it was that kind of thing where it's like, no, he's on everything. Good, bad, don't matter. He's on every, bruh. Oh man, it was great to see, man. So shout out Damari Brown, brother. You had a hell of a game. Um, a lot of good stuff with the defense, man, flying around. But I was shouting them out overall, man, because they've been holding it down. And if the defense hadn't been playing as good as they played the whole season, to be honest, we would probably have 4 or 5 losses right now. And that's just being real. So overall, man, we did what we needed to do. Gave up a touchdown in garbage time, but it's all good, man. Like I said, Stanford is garbage. We knew they was garbage before the game. We beat them by 28. I honestly think that last touchdown happened because y'all see what's going on with the bet and stuff, bro. Everybody's stuff was good. if you if you had the under, you was gonna be good, right? Which I wouldn't have took the under on this anyway. But if you had the under, you was gonna be good, and then just the overall, if you had Miami cover, you was gonna be good, and then obviously that last touchdown kind of blew that money for everybody, literally on both sides of that. So I get it, but nah, man, we did what we needed to do. And now we got to do the same thing this week. Just 1 week at a time, win the games, keep getting better. Um, the NC State preview will be out probably Wednesday morning. Or on Wednesday. I'm not gonna say Wednesday morning. We'll see. But since I got a little time, I'm gonna just touch on this and then we're gonna get out of here. So Louisville and Virginia both lost. Now, prior to this week, I said that there was absolutely no way that Miami gets into the CFP, but the path to the CFP to me isn't going to be through the ACC championship game. So naturally, some of the things we need to happen are going to happen no matter what, right? SMU plays Louisville. Okay. So we're like, if Louisville loses, we'd have a leg up on them of nobody, so you get where I'm going with this. So SMU and Louisville play each other. Duke slate that they have left, they could lose too. Georgia Tech could lose another game. Virginia, we don't know if their quarterback is even going to be okay. But even if he is, they could lose another game as well, like without question. But I want to focus on the path that nobody else is talking about. Forget the ACC championship game. To me, this is the best path. It's a lot of good games this week. I'm gonna tell you my path. Georgia need to beat Texas. Alabama need to beat Oklahoma. If that happens, Oklahoma and Texas will be eliminated from playoff contention. For sure. That will be their third loss. They won't be going to the SEC championship game. They already sitting at like 11 and 12 anyway. They will be out. Okay? So follow me. That's 2 spots. We need Notre Dame to lose. Notre Dame has a couple of options, but we need them to lose. In particular, I'm looking at Pitt to do it. Pitt has Notre Dame. Pitt also plays Georgia Tech, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check because I believe Pitt played Georgia Tech and Notre Dame. Let's see. Yes. They play them back to back too. If Pitt beats Notre Dame will be eliminated. Right after that, Pitt got GT. So if you add it all up, that would be Texas, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame. 3 teams that are in front of Miami that would be out. Okay. So if we just going on how the coaches poll is and just looking at straight up attrition, Miami right now is projected to be 16 in the CFP. They would be 13 once this happens, right? Follow me. They would be 13. If Pitt beat Tech, Tech is also in front of Miami. So that would bump Tech outside of Miami. Miami would go in front. I ain't even worried about ACC championship. We just talking about rankings. Miami would go in front, right? So for the moment, because you want to get up to 9 if you can. But So that's 4 teams in front of them out. So now you're sitting at 12. Well, if Pitt beat both of them, Pitt's already in the top 25. If they beat number 10 and basically, if Tech win, they'll be they're going to beat 2 top 15 teams in back-to-back weeks. Pitt is going to be 15 or better. They're not going to be worse than 15. If they beat number 10 and then beat number 15, because Notre Dame actually might be number 9. Actually, they will most likely be 9 because BYU lost. So Notre Dame will be 9. Georgia Tech would be like 14 or 15. They beat a top 10 team and then turn around and beat a top 15 team. Worst case, they would be number 15. They could be higher. So they could put them in front of Miami. So instead of Miami being at we at 16, we went Texas, we went Oklahoma, we went Notre Dame, we went GT. That would put us at 12. They could put Pitt theoretically at 11. They beat 2 top teams, boom. But either way, that matchup is going to be 12. It's going to be a top 15 matchup at the end of the season if Pitt does this. If that's the case and Miami beats Pitt and we were at 12 and we beat a top 15 team and do it convincingly, we will probably end up at 9 or 10. You don't want to be 11, but 9 or 10. If you go 9, you probably safe. If you 10, it's a toss-up, right? And through all of this, Oregon also is in the mix with this. Oregon has a couple of games or a game. I'm going to just say a game that they could also lose. So there's a lot of possibilities that have nothing to do with the ACC championship game, because the other thing in all of this, if we being totally honest, we don't know exactly how Texas Tech is going to fare. We don't. We really don't know how they're going to fare. I mean, they could obviously beat UCF. They could lose at West Virginia. It really just depends. But that would be the path. Those 4 teams in front lose. We end up basically being number 12. We play another top 15 team or whatever, beat them convincingly, and finish at 9 or 10. And then you have your option to get in. Because Ohio State and Indiana are a lock. You don't want Georgia and Bama losing right now. Okay? You want them to win out, and you want A&M to go ahead and do their thing. They're going to play whoever in the SEC title game. So 3 SEC teams are getting in for sure. Right? Only 2 Big Ten teams are getting in for sure. Oregon may not make it. If they lose, I don't think they're getting in. That's just me. If they lose a game, I don't think they're getting in. And that is a possibility. So, and then you got to consider that the G5, the best G5 team, get the automatic. So that's why I say you don't want to be 11. Because if you be 11, you probably getting bumped. But if you're 9, you're probably in. If you're 9 and you're not playing championship weekend, you're probably in. Because the ACC is not going to get 2 teams in this year via ACC title game. Like, that's not happening. It's too much attrition going on. So you won't have the winner and the loser get in. I mean, you won't have the loser get in from the ACC. Most likely it's going to be the losers out. That's why I'm like, get to number 9 or 10 and the committee might put you in. So other than that, man, that's all I got for y'all. It was great seeing the Canes play this weekend. Had a great time at the game. My son enjoyed the game, man. The NC State tickets, we'll see. We'll see. I probably will end up giving those tickets away. So if you looking to potentially win those tickets, man, just make sure that you tune in to the the episode regarding NC State. Right, we'll do the preview at the latest. It'll be out by Wednesday, 6 p.m. Let's take it one game at a time, man. Go Canes.